Hey guys, happy Sunday. It is Sunday, right? Okay. Yes, it is. How's everybody doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Started a little early, mostly because I was just sitting here, like watching the time go down, and I'm just like, I'll just go for it. Um, if you guys do hear a little bit of a difference in my voice, I lost my voice after the concert on Friday night, and I'm just now getting it back, so it's still that sounds fun, Karen Rogers. Um, I'm still getting it back. Oh, yesterday was not fun. Um, hey everyone, welcome in. Cray Cray, it was fantastic actually. So there was a lot of controversy going into it because so I saw the Jonas Brothers at the State Fair on Friday, you guys. And right, Nora's. Um, there was a little bit of controversy because it was advertised as a tour stop, and we paid, like, tour stop, uh, prices for it, and the night before, the Jonas Brothers had wrote on Instagram that they were only getting a 75-minute, set time, and their original show is 3.5 hours. So people were pissed. But actually, so we got there anyways. We got there early because we went to the fair. We had all the pickle stuff. I know we were talking about all of the different pickle items at the Minnesota State Fair, over in Allie's chat yesterday. But we had pickle pizza, we had pickle lemonade, um, all very good. And but either way, yeah, exactly, Cray Cray. That was kind of the whole thing of it. They were actually able to work with the state fair to be able to play more songs. So it ended up being a 2-hour show instead of an hour and 15 minutes. And then there were fireworks at the end. But the thing was is they had kind of redone it, so they played snippets of all of the songs, so we still got to hear everything, but it was just snippets. But it was so good. Um, and I went with my best friend Abby and her sister Olivia, and we had the best time. And then on the way out, we got Sweet Martha's cookies. We got some cheese curds, and they had like this 4-pack of cheese curds. So it was regular cheese curds, ranch cheese curds, garlic cheese curds, and jalapeno cheese curds. And I had the original ones and the ranch ones, and they were super good. But yeah. So Heather, the pickle lemonade is actually crazy because to me, it didn't really taste like pickly, if that makes sense. Like it did, but it didn't. It kind of just tasted more like a watered down lemonade, but with a pickle aftertaste, but like in a good way. It was crazy. It was good. It was definitely good. We also had the waffle dog, which is like a hot dog inside of a waffle. But yeah, it was good. And then like I literally just laid around all day yesterday, did nothing. And then shit keeps hitting the fan when it comes to um oh good cracker. I only took bites. I can't eat all of it. Um but yeah, so a ton of stuff has still been coming out even since we did the live on, was it Friday during the day? Friday during the day that we did the original Ruby Frankie live. Hi Laurel, welcome in. Hey K Braze. Hey Punksy. So there's been a lot that is kind of happening. There's a lot of rumors out there in regards to the Ruby Frankie. Even I was posting some stuff that has potentially come out to be debunked at this point, and there's just so much to this. But there's also been a handful of things that have come out regarding the rest of the family that could be why no one has ever said anything publicly. But I was able, thanks to the beautiful, wonderful Heather Bratt, able to get the probable cause affidavit, which we are going to go over. And then just a handful of other things. I think there's been a few more videos. I know Josh from the Dad Challenge podcast still is going live pretty much every day, sometimes twice a day, regarding the updates of this stuff. There's a few new articles. I was gonna grab the new article that has a new picture of Kevin, which is Ruby's husband or ex-husband, or I don't think they're actually divorced. I think they were separated, but it's been a while, so but yeah, so that is the plan today. Um yeah, that's fine. Carol freaking Claus. Congrats, Allie. Um Absolutely dynamite. Um when we covered it on Friday, it was a little bit more, I guess, not personalized, but I watched these families years and years ago. But I watched them. So for me, I know the ins and outs of these kids and these families. And you know what's so sad is to actually admit that. The fact that I know so much about these kids when these kids had no choice about being on the internet is just crazy to me. And but I think also at the same time it does make you more, I don't know how to say it, like more hyped up to get the justice for these kids. All right, so let me grab the PCA. I'm just going to kind of go over it with you guys just because there's a lot to it. There's a lot of uh pages. Now, this was one thing too that when Heather sent this to me, she was very adamant and reading when I first read through it as well. Hi, Allie. Congrats on hitting 14K. Hey, B Crumbs. Hey, Pointer Lover. Hey, Thistle. Um, is that this does not look like all of the other probable cause affidavits that we have seen in the past. So it's a lot of like um repeating of everything almost. Um so and it's 17 pages. I say only 17 pages, but it's 17 pages. One of the other things that has happened since we went over this the first time is that she has actually been charged with 4 more counts. So each one of them, both Ruby and Jodi, um, have both now have a total of 6 counts each. So they are now up to potentially each of these counts can carry a 15-year sentence. They could get up to 90 years each now if they were to get the maximum for every single charge. Now, we are still very much in the beginning stages of all of this. As you know, it has not even been a hey MK, hey True Crime Crazy. It's still the beginning stages. It hasn't even been a week yet. Um, since all of this has gone down, since the son of Ruby climbed out the window and was able to get to safety. There is an article that came out that states that they believe the reason that he went to the specific neighbor's house was because he knew that they were helpful and they were kind because during Christmas time they had given the children cookies. Um, so that's another interesting aspect of this too, is that the kids were at Jodi Hildebrandt's house during Christmas time. So this is not something where this is their first time over there, which is crazy to me. I mean, I guess it doesn't surprise me, but it sucks. Um, but all right, let us read through this. So this first one here, it says 5th District Court, St. George, Washington County, State of Utah. The State of Utah versus Ruby Franke. She has 6 counts. They are all the same count. They are all the aggravated CA intentionally or knowingly. It's a second-degree felony. And yeah, so let me see here. I'm going to scoot this over so that I can see you guys as well. There you go. All right. So we have the judges, we have the different attorneys and such. Keep scrolling down. Just goes into defendant's name, date of birth, jail booking number, violation date, everything on those notes. It also goes into all of the proceedings up to this point. All right, let's keep going. So then it goes into each of the counts, which are all the same. So I'll just read it once. It just says count 4, aggravated CA, a second-degree felony in that the defendant intentionally or knowingly inflicted upon a child, and then that's blacked out, serious physical injury or having the care or custody of a child caused or permitted another to inflict serious physical injury upon said child, and such serious physical injury includes any conduct that results in starvation or failure to thrive or malnutrition that jeopardizes the child's life. So there's that. That's going to be something that, based on just the children themselves, is going to be very, very much difficult to fight against, which is good in that aspect. And then it will go on more just discovery notes, and then we'll get into these again. So here, once again, we have Ruby Franke. Hey everyone, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Once again, these are the exact same counts. We then have the overview, the case number, state felony, all of the charges, and then it goes into the case filed by the filer, probable cause affidavit was filed, order to hold without bail was filed. The initial appearance is going to be set for the 8th. So we will definitely correct Nora's grandma. As of right now, Kevin has not been charged, and he was actually just recently seen at, it was confusing the way that it was worded. I believe at both Jodi's house and their home. And so and he was actually still wearing his wedding ring. So a lot of people are curious of whether or not he's going to try to get her out of jail, or if he's literally just going to try and get the kids. But the thing is he very much left. He was not really, allegedly in the kids' lives that much. And so I'm not exactly sure how that's all going to work out. All right. We have her public safety assessment report. So it just says here, due to the charges, they get to increase it 1 level. She elevated risk of committing violent crime. No. Well, I would disagree, but I guess I'm not, technically. But it's just more of a, I think I look at, is she a risk physically to other people? As in, if they were to let her out, where is she going to go? Home. You know what I mean? Tattoos. Hey, it's good to see you. So Jodi Hildebrandt is Ruby Franke's business partner / there were rumors that the two were closer than business partners, but that was just literally rumors. And so it was her house that Ruby's second to youngest child crawled out of the window with the duct tape around his ankles and lacerations around his wrists and ankles to get safe. Hi, Princess Meganosa. So they were at her house. Ruby had potentially See, grouchy mama bear, I'm not quite sure. So that's why there's a lot of people that's why they think the lines are blurred because it was very much along the lines of always together, doing everything together. They worked together. They were always together. Um, the kids were staying at Jodi's allegedly because Ruby had a family emergency, so she was actually on her way south for something. Um, and so, which one, Crime Sleuth then? Oh, okay, hang on, Heather. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Uh, if you're talking about Kevin, yeah, it was within the last year or so he moved out. He's currently living with their oldest. You're okay, Aaron. Welcome in. Yeah. Somewhere along those lines, yes. Um Also Jodi is divorced. She does have kids, but they are older and out of the house. I saw someone mention that or ask that up above. But yes, it had been about a year since Kevin had moved out of the house with Ruby. So their oldest child is 20 and she I want to say is in college. And then the older son is 18 now. He is the one that they had sent to the wilderness camp. He was the one that had his bed taken away from him and his room taken away from him as a punishment. Um, he was living with the dad at the time. Yeah. She was married and she does have kids, but they are grown. Grouchy Mama Bear. Hey, come get this commentary. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. She is divorced though. So she is technically single and alone, other than Ruby. Yeah. All right, let us keep going. So it says at age at current arrest, 41, current violent offense. Yes. Current violent offense in 20 years old and younger. No. Which doesn't really make sense. I don't understand that. Would anyone be able to explain that in 20 years old or younger? So is that just her? Like, are they asking if she's 20 years old or younger? Not that the violent offense was against someone 20 years old or younger, correct? Pending charge at the time of offense? No. Prior misdemeanor conviction? Yes. So if you guys remember, she actually was pulled over, um, was it the week before she was arrested? For driving 50 in the 35, I believe. Yes, Princess Megan also they are. Yep. All right. Prior felony conviction, no, but a prior conviction, yes. Um, Hang on. Okay. Sorry. Hey mods, can you check on chat for me, please? All right. Prior violent offense, 0. Prior failure to appear in past 2 years, 0. And prior failure to appear older than 2 years, no. Prior sentence incarceration, no. So they're housed in separate cell blocks, yes. All right. Released with PRL1 conditions. She needs pretrial monitoring, check in 1 day per phone, hearing date reminders. All right, so that's okay. It's just his initials though, right, Heather? Okay. Thank you, Karen Rogers. I appreciate that. That's what I thought after I read it the second or third time. Um, but all right. So we this is supposed to be blanked out up here. These are the initials of one of the children. Luckily it's not a full name, but it's just the initials. So it just says that one of the children being present in the home and having knowledge of a word, malnourishment, and neglect. Miss Franke requested a lawyer and did not speak with us. Um, with this information and the belief that Miss Franke had knowledge of malnourishment, a word, and neglect, this charge will be enhanced to a second-degree felony. I ask that Miss Franke not be allowed bail due to the severity of the injuries of our two kids located in the home and the fact that DCFS has taken 4 of Miss Franke's children into their custody, and I have yet to speak with 2 of them. So that's interesting. At that point, they had not even spoken with the older of the 4. So we had, I want to say it was, well, the youngest had turned 10 the day after this happened. Um, we then have a 12-year-old, which is the one that crawled out of the window, and then we have a 14 and a 15-year-old. Me too, aggro blaze, me too. But the 14 and 15-year-old are the two that at the time of filing of the probable cause affidavit, um, they they hadn't spoken with them. So I wonder if they spoke with them and were able to throw on those extra 4 charges because of that, or if those 4 charges are solely coming from the first 2 children and then the other 2. Because the thing is too is I'm not exactly sure. Hey T, hey Ashley Oaks, welcome in. Actually, I'm glad you're here, Teresa. Do you happen to know if there's no statute of limitations on CA, is there? Does anyone happen to know that? Or if it goes state by state? I would hope not. Um, but I'm not quite sure. Does anyone happen to know that? Somehow they get off of the lesser sentence due to status or something. It's okay, Aaron. Welcome in. No, not in Utah. Okay. So there's no statute of limitations because I know that the oldest daughter, Sherry, which I'm only saying there is a statute of limitations. There is. Well, all I know is that the oldest daughter, Sherry, who is still very vocal on social media, she was posting about this on her Instagram stories, which is why I'm saying her name. She's also 20. Um, has been very vocal about this. That's true, Katie girl. The legal system there really be fair. Everybody's Mormon and they're not going to want a lot of information coming out. That's true. Provides no statute of limitation periods that applies to the SA but what about just like physical violence? Like just child abuse. Me too, Mo. I hope so too. I'm just curious because if we remember there's 6 children. And so the oldest 2 we know just by our own eyes, like we went through and we watched. If you guys haven't watched Swoop's documentary on 8 Passengers, which is the YouTube channel of Ruby Franke and her family, it was taken down, but Swoop does a fantastic documentary on it, and we kind of went through and did it. I will be posting it, Nikki, in the description of this video after I'm done. I'll be posting the link to it. Also, if you want to email me, I can email it to you directly as well. Okay. Thank you, Connie. I appreciate that. All right. So then it says CA victim blank was found at Jodi Hildebrandt's residence after blank made contact with police. So these are the children's names or initials being blanked out. So it says blank was found to be malnourished and initially refused medical. After approximately 4 hours, blank agreed Jodi Hildebrandt was found to be in their direct care of and was determined to be malnourished by a medical professional upon arriving at the blank hospital. So I believe this is the younger of the two. So Nikki, he had gotten out of a window, but I know that there was a lot of talk regarding this potential panic room or safe room. Right. I heart you. I just am curious though if she's going to end up getting more once the other kids start speaking. And that's why I was curious if there is a statute of limitations on CA, because if not, then the four older kids are going to be able to get justice as well. Um so Princess Megan knows that that's the thing is there was part of a police call that or police dispatch or not it was just talk between the police scanner traffic. And I was looking through the Reddit page and I believe someone had stated that they were able to prove that it was two calls being like two different calls being aired over each other. And so I've heard that there's a potential that there's not actually a safe house or a safe room or anything like that um underneath, but I do know that there was one brought up during a police scanner call that was released, that they potentially had found this and that, but then other people were saying it wasn't and it was just someone using the same channel and everything. So hey, Rainbow Mom. But I haven't been able to prove that or not. I will say it would be based on that call, if it is accurate, was said to have some type of big, you know, uh, spinner door handle or um, different things like that, where it was locked from the outside, and then people were questioning because panic room should be locked from the inside because that's the whole point of it. And so there was a lot of different questioning in those regards. Katie girl, so I know Chad was currently living with Kevin, but I'm not exactly sure in regards to that. I know he took a brunt of a lot of this as he was growing up. Yeah, Nikki, kind of like that, but I just don't know exactly if that was accurate because I've seen people say that it was debunked, that that was just two police calls that were overlapping on the same channel, and it just happened to be terrible timing because everyone's now listening to that. Um, but yeah, so I'm not quite sure. I'll bring up the Reddit page after I finish reading through this. And Chad's 18 now, Nora's grandma. Hey, Sleuth Mom. All right. It then says Ruby Franke was seen on a YouTube video filmed in Jodi Hildebrandt's downstairs, which was posted 2 days ago. This observation adds to Miss Franke's, the mother of blank, being present in the home and having knowledge of the A word, malnourishment, and neglect. With this information and the belief that Miss Franke had knowledge of the malnourishment, A word, and neglect, this charge will be enhanced to a second-degree felony. I ask that Miss Franke not be allowed bail due to the severity of the injuries and the fact that DCFS has taken 4 of Miss Franke's children into their custody, and I have yet to speak with 2 of them. I don't know, Nikki. I think so, yes, Sleuth Mom. There's videos back in the day of him being like, "If you don't like our parenting, well then don't watch. It's a good thing that you're not parenting our kids." Stuff like that. So, I don't know if he knew to the extent of now, but I think it's definitely something. I'd be surprised if he doesn't end up getting some type of charges. Yeah, I agree. I hurt you. I agree. Princess Megan also. So I know that Chad does. I'm not sure about the other kids. But he was not living with them at the time, so yeah, I don't know. Heather, I saw someone tag her too, and I was like, "What the heck? Merp, are you merping? Are you merping around?" He was with her when they canceled Christmas for the younger two children. Right, Connie. Yeah. Not only that, he was there when they took away Chad's bedroom, made him sleep on the floor. Oh, you're fine. Come get the commentary. That's fine. Right. Yeah. Merper the lurker. Okay. Um, so yes, then it just says yet to speak with the two of them. All right. Felony committed while on probation or parole or while free on bail awaiting trial. My previous felony charge, they were out on probation or parole. Mm, judge would constitute a substantial danger to any person or to the community, or is likely to flee the jurisdiction of the court. So that's one other thing too. Right, Dynamite. Exactly. Um, he is Princess Megan also. So I will say that we have also found out that once the kids, the two youngest kids, were taken from the house and brought to the hospital, Ruby did actually show up at the hospital and oh no, you're good. Thank you, Connie, for looking. I appreciate it. She actually did show up at the hospital where she was told that she was not allowed to see the children, and she immediately left. Um, oh yeah, that's right. So done with it. I remember that. Kevin very much defended her. He even spouted some junk about how our criticism was us reflecting on ourselves, not them. Yeah, Sydney said, I don't see him going to prison as long as Ruby, but he will probably get a lower charge. Yeah. I also wonder if there's going to be some type of, that those two, Jodi and Ruby, are flipping on each other. There's no way that they're not. Um, but like, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if Kevin somehow does some type of immunity deal where he just turns Ruby in for everything. Hey, Lucia, welcome in. Yeah, whoever talks the most gets the better deal. And that's what usually happens. So she immediately leaves the hospital after she's told that she's not allowed to see the children. And then she goes back home. And that's when she actually ends up running into police. Is it's on the actual call where they said she's walking up to us right now, which is crazy. All right. So we keep going down. Says the arrestee above will be released automatically 24 hours from the time of arrest unless the magistrate signs an order and such order is returned to jail before that time. The judge has refused to sign the order. The arrestee will be released within a reasonable period of time not to exceed 24 hours. Oh, right, Nikki. I know. I can't wait for the body cam to come out from that. It's crazy. Oh, thank you, Agroblaze. I appreciate that. All right. So once again, has these, it goes into, um, okay, so blank climbed out of the window of an Ivan's residence belonging to Jodi Hildebrandt and ran to a neighbor's home. Blank knocked on the door requesting food and water. The neighbor observed duct tape on Blank's ankles and wrists and contacted law enforcement. Upon arrival, law enforcement observed the wounds and the malnourishment of Blank to be severe, and Blank was transported to the blank blank hospital. So I know blank 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 sounds crazy, but this is just to keep the kids safe past this point. It is initials and names of the children, and they are redacted for their own privacy and safety. Blank was placed on a medical hold due to deep lacerations from being tied up with rope and from blank malnourishment. Ruby Franke was seen on a YouTube video filmed in Jodi Hildebrandt's downstairs, which was posted 2 days ago. The observation adds to Miss Franke, the mother of. And then, of course, doesn't continue. It just likes to get cut off, apparently. Did they forget a page? Right, Heather? That's right. Hey, Pickle Me Elmo, welcome in. They don't. They don't get any. They've never gotten any privacy. And I went into a huge tangent about this on Friday about family vloggers and consent. Agroblaze, no, I don't. And the craziest part is too is you would have asked me 4 or 5 years ago. I was the biggest Bonnie Helene fan. I was the biggest Ellie and Jared fan. And it was to the point where I was watching them every time that they'd upload. I'd have my notifications on, everything. And to now know not only that, but then for them to put out a statement, number one, that says, we stayed silent for the children or for the safety or the well-being of the children. Bullshit. That's not like you staying silent while they're being tied up and not fed doesn't vibe well with me. And I'm sorry to say that. I'll be very blunt with it. Yeah, Katie girl, and I was watching today. Were you watching the Dad Challenge podcast today, Katie girl, by chance? Because that was brought up a lot today. Yes, Nikki. The kids were currently homeschooled. There was an incident that happened. I can't remember when, but there's a video of Ruby going to the school because they were doing TikTok dances to the song "Low" by Flo Rida. And she went to the school to tell them how inappropriate that was and how that made her uncomfortable and all the stuff. And after that, I'm sorry I don't mean to laugh. I mean, that could be something for someone, that's fine. I will say I made a dance to it when I was in like 6th grade, so it's fine. But I believe she took her kids out of school shortly after that. But back to the siblings. There was I was watching Josh on the Dad Challenge podcast. Once again, I will link his channel down below after the live today. He rocks. Josh is the best. Okay. Thank you, Heather. And yeah, Nikki, I know. I don't know how after all of this they still think that they're going to have the ability to continue to like family vlog. Yes, Nora's grandma. This it was shortly after that incident that she took them out and homeschooled them. So, but there was yes, I did actually. So do I. I love him. So there was a video that came out. Shoot, let me see if I can grab it. I saved it in my. We're not going to watch it here, but I will post it underneath in the description because I think you guys should go watch it. It is if any of you guys watched family vloggers, there was family vloggers named Carl and Ginger. And Carl now has his own channel. I'm not sure if he took over their family vlogging channel or how that worked, but he did a video where he wasn't saying names or anything like that. But he was telling stories about when he was in a previous relationship and he would go to these parties with these famous family vloggers that were all family and they would all be like kissing each other and this is all allegedly, this is just what this guy said, and he didn't say any names, so I'm not saying any names, but it was very much like they did this. He talked about one of the guys putting peanut butter somewhere so that a dog could join in, which is disgusting. But not only that, that they all kind of just share each other and that they have these parties and it's just crazy. So There was a lot that came out there where a lot of people now are saying that the reason that none of these other people within Ruby's family talk is because there's the potential for them to have this dirt on each other where it would literally ruin everything and for them. And I mean, if you guys think about it, their reputation and their entire income comes from YouTube. So if they were to come out and speak up about Ruby and Ruby or possibly even Jodi knew something about that ruin. Hi, Richard Feller. It's good to see you. I know, Katie girl. Exactly. Um, but they're saying a lot of the thing that's the reason why is that they weren't going to give up their their money, their fame, their lifestyles because they knew that there was a potential that something could come back on them because they all have their own demons. Ruin? What am I saying wrong? You guys. But yeah, it's crazy tattoos, I know. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this one also has the state of Utah versus Jodi Hildebrandt. Prune, ruin, ruin, rune. Oh my gosh. It's my Minnesota accent. Leave me alone. Oh yeah, Richard. How are your boats, Richard? Did the hurricane get you too bad? All right. So we have Jodi Hildebrandt, which is has the same charges, which we also know when we went through the charges, it's anyone that's in possession of these children. So the interesting thing about this and um is that I wonder how much Jodi could have potentially been charged with if she was not the one that actually had custody of the children at that time. Do you guys think that there would have been as many charges on Jodi if the kids would not have potentially been at her house? Or like if she was not. Hey Pamela, it's good to see you. Ruby used to film her Moms of Truth video in the wall Sherry painted. So Sherry's bedroom, like a kick in the teeth. Yeah, you're right, Abram. It's crazy. But what do you guys think? Do you think that she would have gotten all of these same charges or a number of charges? Um, oh, feel better, Pamela. Let me know if you need anything. I'll be around. Katie Girl said, I also heard somebody mention that when Sherry went to college, all the money she had in her bank account was taken out. I can't remember whose channel that had that. That's just awful. I did hear that too. I heard, though, that they didn't know whether it was Kevin or Ruby that potentially took it out. All right. Once again, these pages, man. Okay. Going through once again what she would potentially have. So it says if she were to make bail, that would just be the options. So let's see. Here's Jodi, same charges. Keep going. Once again, her initial appearance is also set for September 8th. Keep going down. September 8th at 1:30 p.m. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here's page 2. Oh my gosh. Added to Miss Hildebrandt's knowledge of the abuse in the home. Hildebrandt requested a lawyer and did not speak with us. Once given her charges, Miss Hildebrandt informed me blank and blank should never be allowed around any kids. This information and the belief that Miss Hildebrandt had knowledge of malnourishment, A-word, and neglect, this charge will be enhanced to a second-degree felony. I ask that Miss Hildebrandt not be allowed bail due to the severity of the injuries and the fact that DCFS has taken 4 of Miss Franke's children into their custody and have yet to speak with 2 of them. Oh, great, Pamela, where I was this morning. Thanks. Hopefully it was a different one. Been busy, but is this another case? Um, Not really, K-Braze. This is a case where 4 years, not 4 like the number, but 4 years, like for many years, people have called CPS, they have called the police. Um, from This Is How We Bingham, CMIS, is that what you mean? It's Frankie. What was I saying now? Yeah, I agree, CMIS, unfortunately. Hey, Amanda. Are the charges either a fine or jail, or will they definitely face time? I think they have to definitely face time. I believe each charge is between 1 and 15 years, plus a $10,000 fine, but I'm not exactly sure. Oh, I was talking to K-Brace. Um, there was a change.org petition that went out for them to be looked at. And there's been a lot of people who have tried to fight for these kids. CPS did go in and investigate them, but claimed that they did not find enough information. So yeah, I don't there's a lot to it. Um, but they also are within this big community of family vloggers, where their blood relatives are all family vloggers. They all vlog. That's how they all make their money. And it's all kind of together. Hi, Chapstick Drama. Welcome in. So there's a lot more controversy coming with this. And I think a lot more is going to end up coming out because although it's like very, very, very relieving that Ruby is finally arrested, I think that there's also 3 counts each for 2 children. Okay, so they have not, thank you, T. They have not charged anything for the other 4 kids. And I don't see how they can't at this point. They found cause to be able to take all 4 kids. Um, yeah, MK, you're right. Um, okay, let's keep reading. So this is the same, right, Chapstick Drama, that's true. I wonder though if because the 2 that are not being charged potential or that have not had charges for yet are the older 2. So that's what I'm hoping. Oh, you know what I mean? Are the links working for anyone else? It's page not found for me. For what? Okay. Thank you, Teresa. What one Movendus are you trying to get? No, Abram. I don't think Kevin should get custody either. He sat along with Ruby and did a lot of this for a lot of years. That's a good question, Nikki. So Ruby's parents, which are the elder Griffiths, her maiden name is Griffith. That is the uh, the parents of all of these the family vloggers. I'll redo the links, after the live here, to make sure that you can get to everything, Movendis. Sorry about that. They may have just expired. But they recently left and are traveling, and they started their own family vlog, and it's been a thing. Uh, let's see. Be a shame if Ruby's parents did not come home. Think the kids with the grandparent. Yeah, it's interesting though because the grandparents are also they're on a mission. Okay, thank you, Cindy. The grandparents are still very close to the aunts and uncles though. So it would be very interesting to see this dynamic. And I will say, although I feel like Sherry, the oldest daughter, will probably feel pressure because she obviously wants to save her younger siblings, it's going to be so hard for a 20-year-old to take on a 10, a 12, a 14, and a 15-year-old. So I don't know. But if there's nothing there, then there's nothing stopping potentially her the aunts and uncles to be here. Um, hey M Phoenix, welcome in. Thanks for being here. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. It's also going to be interesting to see if Kevin does get some type of charges, how that's going to play, and different things like that. So when we get to number 2 here, back onto the PCA, is the same one that we read up above regarding the child was found at Jodi Hildebrandt's residence after so and so made contact with police, being malnourished, initially refused medical attention. Oh, really, Cindy? Jodi was Bo's counselor. Bo is Ruby's brother. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, 100%, Nikki. People get in trouble for knowing about that stuff happening even though the authorities did nothing. I don't know. I mean, I would assume. Okay. Thank you, Teresa. I just got it. Each defendant is accused of causing or permitting serious physical. Okay, perfect. I don't know. Wait, who is? Nikki? Bo is? The on kid custody, they put a legal ban on the kids being filmed. They deserve to live free from the public eye. Absolutely, aggro. I agree. That's also something within the whole vlogging community that has actually come up more recently was regarding what was it, Della Vlogs? I don't know if any of you guys watched that, but Della Vlogs have been trying to have a baby for the last few years. They did IVF, nothing was working. They eventually put a plea out that they're trying to adopt, and within just a few months, they now have a baby girl, and they literally filmed the moment that they met her, and she has been on the internet ever since. This is the baby that they adopted. So there's a lot that comes to when it comes to what needs to be put like in place to protect children, especially children who are being put on the internet, I think. All right. Let's keep going. Once again, it's just going over charges again. Once in the same one. Okay, here we go. Let's read this one. Why are these like this? This drives me nuts. Yeah, that's right, Nikki. She did. Matt and Abby did. Okay, so it says blank blank climbed out the window of an Ivan's residence belonging to Jodi Hildebrandt and ran to a neighbor's home, knocked on the door requesting food and water. The neighbor observed duct tape on the ankles and wrists, contacted law enforcement. Upon arrival, law enforcement observed the wounds and the malnourishment of blank to be severe, and blank was transported to the hospital. Blank was placed on a medical hold due to deep lacerations from being tied up with rope and from malnourishment. Jodi Hildebrandt was found to be in direct care of blank as blank was staying at her home. In Jodi Hildebrandt's bathroom, I located gauze which had been used. I feel as if Ellie and Jared should take the kids, keep them off the filming. All of their kids show signs of being treated extremely well. They need to be away from mom and dad altogether. Nikki Ray, yeah. Um, yeah. I I don't it's like I wish that they could get away from family vlogging in general. But if they had to go to anyone, I would agree. I think Ellie and Jared would be the best out of all the siblings, just based on what's being shown. That's true though, Nikki. That's true. All right. And so that is pretty much it, guys. So that is all of the pages of this probable cause affidavit. Obviously, they're not in order, which is, professional of them to do. But that's literally the gist of everything. So let me see. I'll leave this up for a second while I. Yeah, if you guys please go hit the thumbs up if you're in here and you're enjoying this. Thank you so much. I try to go live once a week, different stories. This one, I've literally gone live twice in the last 2 days, but that's just because it's a story that is constantly evolving. And not only that, but because I'm like, I was a fan of a lot of these people for a long time. It's what's hard for me. I'm going to grab one thing. All right. We're going to go over this new article. Oh, I know, right? Nikki Ray? I agree. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. I know, so done with it. I'm not gonna lie, the family that I watched the most was OK Baby, and with everything going on with Kira and Oscar, which I'm very much team Oscar at this point, um, it goes to show how much is actually going on, and it's so crazy. Oh, I know, Rainbow Mom. The last week of work has been terrible. The new stuff, I never watched them. Same with Micah. Oh, I never watched Micah Stoffer, but I watched Josh from the Dad Challenge podcast go over um her rehoming of her adoptive son, and it's crazy. I think we're all team Oscar, right? I know. And he just got a girlfriend, which makes me really happy. All right. Make sure I'm sharing this because all I did was click share screen. So I'm going to make sure that we're still sharing this. All right. Oh, can you guys tell that I'm a Cubs fan? Isn't that kind of embarrassing when it shows the different things that you look up all the time? Oh, all right. So we have exclusive from the Daily Mail. YouTuber mom Ruby Franke's husband is seen at Utah house of horrors where she is accused of abusing her 2 children. Says the husband of a Mormon YouTuber who was arrested earlier this week on suspicion of abusing 2 of her 6 children were seen pacing around outside the Utah family home on Saturday, as neighbors spoke out about their fears for the children's safety. Ruby Franke, 41, was arrested on 2 counts of aggravated child abuse on Wednesday, along with her business partner Jodi Hildebrandt, after two of her malnourished kids were found starved with open wounds and wrapped in duct tape. Franke gained fame online through her YouTube channel, 8 Passengers, and had 2.2 million subs before she stopped posting January 2022. I don't like showing the kids' faces. Okay, so hang on. I'm going to read this and then I'm going to scroll past the picture. And that's one thing I'll ask of you guys too. If you guys do see anything sharing of these kids' pictures, please just don't. These kids have been on the internet their entire lives. They've had no privacy. And I am just begging anyone that has the ability to not share these kids' names, these kids' pictures. Please don't if you can help it. Obviously, there's going to be times when it happens, but you mean Kevin chapstick drama? Ruby's husband, who shares 6 children with, um, was seen at the property on Saturday as a man came to remove the YouTube branding from the van parked outside. You know, the important things in life. He had moved out about a year ago, chapstick drama, but um yeah, Aaron, I watched Roman Atwood too. He got really bad though to the point where they had to get off of YouTube because someone started hacking into like their security systems and their cars and stuff like that. Yeah, that's my point. Nikki, like, no, he's trying to get his kids, okay, but also better make sure that I get 8 passengers off the back of my van. Neighbors told the DailyMail.com that they had been concerned about the children's well being and once saw the kids left outside pulling weeds for hours during triple digit temperatures. He just came back to the house. He had not been living there, travel with me. Okay, I'm going to scroll past. Oh, jeez. Scrolled too fast. Okay. So this is a picture of Kevin um just from the other day. I would assume so. I think it's still their family home, Nikki. Damn. It is beautiful though, I'm not going to lie. I really don't see how they could, but at this point, these kids have been let down. I just hope so. Right? This that is one of my favorite things is when someone goes to jail like this and then they purposely choose like the most unflattering photos of them. Been out of town. Yeah. Yeah, Beverly. I've only seen a handful of theirs. Um, but DCFS does, Amanda. Yes. Yes, chapstick Gemini. Well, Nikki, you said it, not me. I know, right? So done with it. Yes, this is Ruby's house in Springville. It does, Aaron. It's like a mixture between the two. Between the Turpin family House of Horrors and the Vallow. Mhm. Now, Sweet Misery True Crime. I know that people were saying that at the very beginning, Kevin was actually like into connections with them. And then once she started getting closer to Jodi is when he was just like, no. Zoodmaster, no, not that I have seen. I believe on the Washington County site, it says something like mugshots have been taken down due to something. I don't remember what it was. Aaron. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy to me. All right. It says dailymail.com spoke to one of Hildebrandt's neighbors whose home spoke to one of Hildebrandt's neighbors whose home is also in the Kayenta community located at the base of the Red Mountains in Ivins, Utah. They recalled seeing Frankie's 8 passengers van regularly parked in front of the home at the time. One thing we noticed, and we told the police the same thing 6 to 8 weeks ago when it was really hot. I was outside in the late morning/afternoon pulling weeds, and over at Jodi's home, several kids were also outside her home pulling weeds. Utah does not show mugshots before trial. Okay. And also, guys, my comments about showing kids' faces and stuff, that's not directed at anyone. And that's fine. It's just going forward, I choose to not show their faces. That's also just because I'm very personally connected to a lot of these because I used to watch them, and it's something that I personally can't do. But I don't, that's up to everyone else. All right. So it says kids were outside her home pulling weeds. So this is another thing, is that this is at Jodi's home. This is not at Ruby's home. This is Ruby's kids potentially doing it at Jodi's home. And not only that, but I think all of us have known that there's been this heat wave that's so dangerous right now. And it's just crazy. Over the course of the day, the temperature was over 100 degrees, and they gave up after a while because it was so hot, but I noticed that the kids stayed out there. I have not heard. Yeah, that's true, Grouchy Mama Bear. That is 100% true. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, Travel with Me. The resident also noted how they never heard any sounds coming from the home, such as the children playing outside, which they thought was unusual. On one day, a child is thought to have escaped through the window of a home before running to a neighbor to call police. The neighbor said they believed the child picked this particular home after they had been given cookies by them on Christmas time and knew them to be friendly and safe enough to go to them for help. Both Frankie and Hildebrandt have been previously criticized for their teachings on parenting, collaborating on Hildebrandt's life counseling services connections. Jodi does, but they're older. They're out of the house. That's what I was curious about. So done with it. Is it something that they just kept going back and forth? Or was it something that they were just over there all the time because Ruby was over there all the time? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Everyone is just breathing a collective sigh of relief because we thought they were going to come out of that house with body bags, another neighbor said to NBC News following the arrest. I read that too, that Jodi's kids don't talk to her. I did hear that, but I haven't been able to obviously confirm that anywhere. The Santa Clara Ivins Public Safety Department in Utah arrested Frankie and Hildebrandt after a report of a juvenile in need at 10:50 a.m. on Wednesday. Authorities said the child was described as emaciated and malnourished with open wounds and duct tape around the extremities and was asking for food and water. Neighbors said they had been in contact with the Utah Division of Child Family Services in the past. Once again, there's Kevin. It's Kevin with another guy. And there is the sticker that was being taken off of the back of the van. Remember the important things. They also had 8 passengers as their license plate. Can you think about how dangerous that is, though, you guys? Like, not only do you have the ability to see everything about these kids on the internet, but potentially if you'd be able to know where they were at all times just by going, and you'd see this car parked somewhere or driving and they know it was you. You have no anonymity whatsoever, which is just terrifying. Remember the video where people speculated that Ruby had a white substance in her nostrils? I don't know why it came up in my mind the last few days. Um, Here and there, I don't exactly remember. Um, it it sparked something in my mind, but not to the point where I'd be able to like speak on it. You know what I mean? Um, it's the heat thing that they use to get it off. It's the front door. Shows damage. Gosh, that is so beautiful though. Okay, thank you, grapevines. So this is Sherry had posted this the day that they were arrested. Isn't that crazy, David? Yeah, aggro, I hope so too. This was what Sherry, Ruby's oldest sister, had posted, or daughter, oldest daughter, had posted right after she was arrested. Hey, cool gamer, welcome in. It just said finally, a bunch of cops. And like I'd said, there was 20 plus people. Yeah, hopefully, Nikki. Yeah, Catherine, we were going over that. There have been some people that had the ability to kind of fact check that. And I believe the belief now is that it was two different or two separate calls potentially that were utilizing the same police dispatch line. So they're not exactly sure if that was for the exact same call or not. So I don't want to put anything out there that, like, I don't want to say that that's fact. I know that that did come out at one point, but I believe other people were saying that it was someone else talking, it was a different person at a different case, and that they would just happen to accidentally be using the same one. If it were to be one, so Aaron said, what does it say from? So it's just the type of thing. I know that there's a lot of preppers that have them, like end of the world preppers or um celebrities, stuff like that, where it's a room that locks from the inside, but it's like a self-sustainable type of room. So it has food, water, whatever you'd need to be able to lock yourself in there, and then it's like a fortress. Um, um, it's also, I know a lot of people will also compare them to like storm shelters. A lot of people will build the shelters, especially like in Tornado Alley. Anyone filming their young kids' lives more than our day has serious issues. Yeah, right. I'm not quite sure, Dynamite. Most of the time, based on what it's made out of, I would say yes. Yeah, okay, thank you, Cindy. That's what I thought too. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. I think it's just a mixture of the names on accident, Aaron. Got bugged watching the other family vlog, the family YouTubers that brag that they so much money, so they give large amounts of money to the winners. What do you mean, Thistle? Okay, so then it says, I remember that she took away their Christmas one year, and she would say things like they're not repenting correctly, which is Mormon term for they're sinning. Just complete insanity, a male neighbor explained. The local residents also told how Frankie would interfere in the lives of her neighbors. One recalled an incident where Frankie lectured a neighbor over what she deemed to be inappropriate posters of women posing in shorts that were on display in a garage. Kevin Franke is believed to have been kicked out of the family home last year. It's interesting. I guess I didn't realize that he was kicked out versus just leaving. I guess I was under the impression that he had just left, was over where they were going with things, and was just kind of over it. But according to this, he was kicked out, but take that with a grain of salt. He said earlier this week that he is trying to keep his children together following the arrests. She took away books like Captain Underpants saying they taught kids bad values. It's a book. Right, Terry. Even if she forced him out, why didn't he fight for custody? Right. Why did he just let them go? Why is it just now that she's out of the picture? Is he now fighting for them? See, that's what I thought too, Sweet Misery True Crime. I heard that those two just left. So it could go either way at this point. I don't know if we'll ever actually know. It says Kevin's attorney, Randy Kester, told Page Six his client's urgent focus is simply to keep his children together under his fatherly care. Well, he didn't fatherly care for the last year, so I'm not quite sure what that means. Four minor children were taken into the care of Child and Family Services following the police investigation. It is unconfirmed if the children were related to either Frankie or Hildebrandt. What? They were Frankie's children. Yeah. I think the panic room was in Jodi's house, and it makes sense. Ruby's neighbor said she was taping paper over her windows. People couldn't see in, and then she moved in with Jodi and used that room. That's interesting, that being said. I know, Sweet Misery. We were talking about that earlier. No need to tape paper over the windows if the kids are being held in a room under the garage with no windows. Oh, that's true. That being said, that is true. That is very true. Maybe he has been fighting to see them. Custody takes months and years sometimes. Yeah, maybe. So done with it. Maybe. Once Kevin had departed the family home, one neighbor said it appeared the children stopped going to school, with one of the daughters knocking on the doors of other homes in the neighborhood that had kids. She would just knock on the door and say, "Hi, can your kids play?" And we're like, "Well, they're at school. They won't be home for 3 or 4 hours." And she'd be like, "Oh, wait." She's like a lost child, the neighbor recounted. Right, Dynamite. You'd think that he would hopefully still be in communication with them at some point, and if he was, then why didn't he do something? Were they too afraid to tell him? But at that point, he knew how off the cuff she was with everything. So I don't know. Yeah, that's true, Nikki. Um, I'm really angry because I spoke up. Other people spoke up and nothing happened, another female neighbor explained. I want those kids to know that the community loves them and wants them to be safe, she said. If people knew the amount of tears and time spent talking with law enforcement and CPS over the last year, I want people to understand that. And I want those kids to know that because I think they thought they were abandoned. In a statement, the Santa Clara Ivans Police no, Public Safety Department said the condition of the juvenile was so severe they were seen by Santa Clara Ivans EMS and transported to a local area hospital. No, I don't think so, Nora's grandma. I think it's more of a people are like, well, why didn't you guys in the neighborhood do something about it? And I think the neighbors are not only trying to say, hey, we tried, but they also want the kids to know, like, we've been trying this whole time and no one's been listening. Um, I okay, so Kevin, Ruby's husband, ex-husband, estranged husband, whatever the hell he is. He was a professor at Brigham Young University, BYU. I know that it's kind of he's not been there. I'm not sure why. Connie said possibly because of involvements with connections. I've also heard that it was more recent. Um, but I've also heard that he left, but I've also heard that he was forced to leave. So I'm not quite sure. Yeah, travel with me. Um, yeah. Well, Nikki, and that kind of brings it back to, Ruby's family's uh thing about how they're like, we've stayed silent for the sake of the kids, and it's like, why the hell would you ever want to stay silent for the sake of the kids? Thank you, cool gamer. I appreciate that. You should be commended for that chapstick drama. That's incredible. I do know that people on the 8 passenger snark the Reddit forum, that they were posting pictures of the rate your professor site, and he is just being rallied on there. Just terrible. So I'm not quite sure what the whole time frame and stuff like that is. So um let's see. Information was obtained by police that other juveniles in similar conditions may be in a nearby home. Officers arrived at the home and searched the residence, locating another juvenile in similar physical condition of malnourishment. And here we have Jodi Hildebrandt's home in Ivins, Utah. Yeah. Yeah, that being said, not only that, but I would say that, in my opinion, the aspect of them all having dirt on each other, and Ruby and potentially Jodi not being afraid to use that dirt if they were to come out, I think is highly likely. In my opinion, allegedly. Um, and yes, guys, please, everyone, stay very respectful for all religions. Although they were Mormon, Mormonism, is that the word Mormonism? Has nothing to do with this aspect of it. This is not something that is accepted in the religion. Like I said, one of my best friends is Mormon. I ask a lot of questions. I love to learn. And it's more just unfortunate, I think, at this point, because it's another person who is representing the Mormon religion that shouldn't be representing the Mormon religion. So it's very similar to, Lori Vallow Daybell, where she was Mormon, but that doesn't say anything about the religion itself. So I just want to make sure that that is clear when we speak about this. Yep, exactly. That being said, every group has bad actors. It has nothing to do with the religion itself. This looks so crazy to me. Is there a reason? Does anyone happen to know? This is just out of pure curiosity. Oh, yeah. I know it's a $3.1 million home. It's insane. Yeah. Um, but does anyone know, is this just a aesthetically pleasing, or is there reasons why, like, the cement stuff is used in, like, the Red Rocks? Is there a reason for that? I'm just curious. Liberty, yeah, he has not. And I I don't know. It's already been a few days. He filed it a long time ago, so the fact that he didn't get them right away is good. Heat, yes, for desert areas. So it has something to do. Keeps the air cool. Oh, interesting. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. Interesting. Thank you. I was curious. I just was not for sure. I also heard someone say that this is potentially like a duplex, or does she just have four garages? Does anyone happen to know the answer to that? I know. Isn't it crazy, Rainbow Mom? It is crazy. This area is new development, by the way. That's why it looks so isolated. Property is selling like crazy in southern Utah right now. It is one house. Okay. Thank you, Thistle. Doesn't it kind of potentially, though, look like it could have been 2? Like a duplex? Oh, really? So Donut said someone on Reddit said they rented an Airbnb there. Hmm. Do the red rocks make it hotter? Does anyone know? I'm just asking any question that comes to my mind now, apparently. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. The Reddit person said it's 2. Hmm. They were also transported by EMS for hospital treatment. Cops said evidence consistent with markings found on the juveniles were located in the home. St. George is hot. Ugh. Okay. Dion Bowley. I'm new and I heard she could get up to 90 years in jail. Yeah, they each could. They each could if they were to get the maximum for each one of the charges. And like I said, I still think it'll be very surprising if there's not more charges added on. Ugh, that sounds terrible. I'm not gonna lie though, it is beautiful, but it does make me very, very grateful that I live in Minnesota. I'm not sure, Nikki. It's sad. I can't believe the kids had to go through that. This She deleted her channel, so there's no proof of the damage, but people have. I will say, Dion Bowley, that I know of a handful of people who had downloaded and saved the entirety of the 8 Passengers channel. At least they said they had. There are different ways that you can download an entire channel, um, including ones that they potentially delete later on. So it's more of the coldness, Rainbow Mom, and the not having humidity a ton of the time. Although the last few days it's been like 60% humidity. It's been terrible. We have clips of her saying, I will not feed food unless you do this for a video. And it was in her video and she never clipped it out. Like, what the hell? Exactly. There's so much of it. Or like why would you ever, we watched the clip the other day of one of the younger kids saying, can you not film this? And she was just like, as I was saying, yeah, that it's crazy. We went over that. So on Friday we went through Swoop's documentary and I picked out the little pieces of the videos of it. And she privated her channel and YouTube terminated Friday so they have access to the videos. Ooh, okay. Taking away their bedroom, taking away food is a different story. Yeah, exactly. I know. I love Swoop too. Used to watch her channel and had to stop because it was too disturbing as time went on. She got worse. Yeah, she really did. Liberty, it's insane. Um, I don't know, Thistle. I don't want to throw the address out there, but if one of you guys can grab it, I can try and find it without putting the address out there. You are 100% correct, Terry. Food should never be used as a punishment. Ever. Right. Both Franke and Hildebrandt remain in custody in the Washington County Sheriff's Department as of Saturday evening and are facing 2 felony aggravated child abuse charges. 2 children were taken to a hospital in St. George, Utah, about 255 miles southwest of Springville, officials said. Is there a reason? Is there a reason why they took them down there? Does anyone happen to know? YouTube confirmed that to the media Saturday, so police can get the videos. Oh, good. Okay, cool. All right. Franke is well known for her strict parenting style on the channel, which she stopped uploading footage in January 2022. It was taken down earlier this year. When asked why she left YouTube, behind months later. She said she opted to stop uploading videos because she wanted to save her kids. No way, really? Nope. Okay. There's Ruby and Kevin. Ruby again. The bathrooms in the Walmart in St. George are always awful, FYI. Thank you. I try not to use the bathrooms in any Walmart if I'm being completely honest. Can't imagine a hot bathroom though. Oof. Hey Trina, welcome in. Is it me? Aaron, who's gonna enforce that legally? Yeah, exactly, Connie. She said her children were being hurt by the constant advice they were receiving from their immense following. Ugh. I don't care what the world's opinion is. This is the truth, and this is where I stand, she added. Frankie racked up more than 2.2 million subscribers for documenting their day to day endeavors on social media with her husband, Kevin. Not letting them eat food or water. She's using duct tape to make sure their arms couldn't grab certain things. Oh, wow. All right. The mother of six came under fire in July after footage resurfaced of her allowing her daughter Eve, 6, to go hungry because she forgot to make her own lunch. Interesting. In a video posted to YouTube in February 2020, Ruby explained that she received a text from her daughter's teacher, telling her that her youngest daughter didn't have anything to eat for lunch. She said all of her kids are responsible for preparing their own lunches in the morning, so she would not be dropping off any food for Eve because she wanted to teach her a lesson. Frankie said, "My hope is that she will be hungry and come home and be like, that was really painful being hungry all day. I'll make sure I always have my lunch with me." Trash. Terrible. Not only that, which we did show that clip on Friday, we went through it. Yeah, grouchy mom bear, that doesn't surprise me. They were sending out cease and desist letters like crazy. The 8 passengers one too. Did she, Mo? Yeah, I hope so too. Not only that, but there was the one where before that, I don't know if it was at the same school or different, was when Ruby refused to wake up Eve in the mornings for preschool. And she was like, "Well, if you want to go to preschool, then you're responsible for getting up and getting yourself ready." And it was even at that point that Sherry said something in the video and is like, she can't choose when she wakes up, as Sherry is literally getting her ready, doing her hair, putting her clothes on and everything. It's just ugh. Okay, the natural outcome is that she's gonna have to go hungry. Skip past the pictures. Frankie's strict parenting style has faced a repeated backlash since she started the channel in 2015. Viewers called Child Protective Services in 2020 after their son Chad, 15, claimed that he had slept on a beanbag for 7 months. She also threatened to bin her children's items if they didn't pay cash for them, claiming it was a lesson in understanding the value of their things. Okay, thank you, Karen. Yeah, it's nuts. Hang on. Thank you, Thistle. I'll grab it once I'm done reading through this. Um, which is just crazy to me. Okay, her eldest daughter Sherry posted about her mother's arrest on Instagram, sharing an image of police officer outside the home, captioned, "Finally." She added, "Today has been a big day. Me and my family are so glad justice is being served. We've been trying to tell police and CPS for years about this. I'm so glad they finally decided to step up. Kids are safe, but there's a long road ahead. Please keep them in your prayers and also respect their privacy." Sherry, who broke contact with her family in April, also asked for anyone with access to any questionable or concerning connections or 8 passengers' videos with her. In Utah, an act that inflicts upon a child serious physical injury or causes or permits another to inflict serious physical injury upon a child. So that is that one. Okay, let me grab the other one that you guys are wanting me to. While making your kids sleep on a beanbag is stupid, that's not fair, and they're saying you don't sleep on a beanbag for 7 months, that will ground you. No food. Stop, Ruby, you got your way. Yeah. Well, and the reason that Chad had lost his bedroom was due to playing a trick on his younger brother regarding Disneyland, I want to say. So it was he had woke his brother up in the middle of the night and said, like, get ready, we're going to Disneyland. And his brother had packed everything up and got ready, made his bed, packed his bags, and was so excited. And then he's like, just kidding, we're not going anywhere. And he like obviously was so upset. So, all right, let me grab this one. I'm going to see if there's a way that I can bring up the Zillow listing without showing the address. If there's a way that I can zoom it or scroll it or whatever. Oh, that is nuts. Hang on. It's loading forever. Is the valley there really called Hellhole? Hang on. I don't know if there's a way that I can. Okay. Yeah, his bathroom door was taken off too. Okay, let me just see. Just looking over it. Okay, 5,013 square foot single family home, 3 bedroom, 5.5 bath. Why are there only 3 bedrooms? That's nuts. Hang on. Bringing it up. I just don't want to. I'm going to try not to show the address. I know the address is out there publicly, but I'm going to try not to. All right. Yeah. Hey, Richie. It's good to see you. Hey, LFT. All right. Single family homes, central cooling. It was built in 2017. It's on 1.43 acres. 3 beds, 5.5 bath. Total interior livable area is 5,013 square feet. There's a fireplace, finished basement, attached garage, spa included. Interesting. So it was bought, or it was worth 1.383 million. So this is the overview. Right, Heather, Jodi just needed more toilets, the meds. In a way, though, isn't it beautiful that Ruby exploited her kids to get fame, and now all the attention she has brought to her family has resulted in so many people expressing support for the kids. Absolutely. Absolutely. So looking at this, I believe that her house is this one here. So when you're looking at that, it's insane. Um, it literally looks like they are in the middle of nowhere. That's nuts. Can you like no, I can't. It's not gonna let me. Don't look. Don't look. And that's all it has for photos is those two though. Huh. So what do you guys think about the update so far? Do you guys think do you guys think that Kevin should be arrested for his play in this from the beginning? Is it really Thistle? Hmm. Yeah. Do you think that they are going to do you think that they're going to add charges on as they talk to the kids more? For some reason, I don't think he will, Nikki, but I don't know. So they currently have 6 each, Rainbow Mom. Okay. Well then, unless something else crazy comes out, I will for sure be covering their first um court date, which is September 8th at 1:30. It's 1:30 their time, which is what time is that for me? Thistle, what time is that for me? Yeah, Terry, it'd be interesting to see if he did fight and if he did, how and why. Really? That being said, do you think that'll happen? That's true. That I don't know, Chapstick Drama. I can get back to you on that. I'll do a community post regarding that. It'll be interesting too, Debbie. I'm glad that you said that. I think that it would have to come down to what the kids say about his involvement and knowledge. I would be very, very interested to see if the kids state that they don't want to be with him and how that plays into it. I know, travel with me. We talked about that towards the beginning, which after I get off of here, I will be posting. I'll post the links to Carl's video, um, as well as Swoop's documentary once again, and Josh at the Dad Challenge podcast. Once again, huge fans of all of them. What time is it if it's 1:30 your time for me? Was the question. 2:30, I think. Okay. Yeah. My time versus your time. 2:30. Thank you, Fissel. Okay. It is so done with it. It is horrific. Um, but like I said, I have eyes on the court systems, and if anything else gets filed, I will let you guys know. Um, I do plan on having another live this week at some point. I haven't exactly figured out what I want to do it on yet. I have my entire list of cases that I have written down. But I'm still working on the Sherry Orofino case. I'm still waiting for my FOIA request to come back. Um, Also coming up, we have Timothy Pitson. We also have been following the Rachel Morin case. Also, if you guys don't know, I am very close to the Madeline Kingsbury case in Winona, Minnesota. And the potential perpetrator in that case has court on the 22nd of this month. So we will be following that. I might even be going to it if it's public. If not, I will be covering it. Um, oh, thank you. Thank you. That being said, I appreciate that a lot. Um, but yeah, so keep up with that. Any updates on Rachel Morin? Not that I've heard. If you guys are wanting to follow the Rachel Morin case, I know that the Decipher podcast with Tia and LFT have been covering it greatly. They've had Johnny Blackhawk on, who is an incredible human being. His stepdaughter is the one that found Rachel's body, and there's a lot going on. I know Criminality was covering it too. Um, Nikki, the Rachel Morin case was the case of the mom of five who was um, killed on the Monpaw Heritage Trail in Bel Air, Maryland. And then the DNA found at her scene was found linked to a home invasion assault in Los Angeles, California. And um, so it's just we've been following that case. I'll make sure to link everyone's links below. Also, if you guys go onto my channel and then I have my friends' channels also on the homepage there, they'll all be linked there as well. So, yeah, but please, everyone, keep everyone in need in your prayers. Keep these kids in your prayers. Make sure that you guys are, you know, always speaking up, always doing the right thing. Well, trying. We're all human, but um yeah, just make sure to be kind to one another. Be kind to everyone around you and stay safe. Happy Labor Day weekend. Happy back to school for those up near here because we don't start till after Labor Day. But other than that, have a great rest of your weekend, you guys. Thanks for being here with me. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like button, share if you enjoy it, and we will be back sometime soon. Thank you so much, guys. Be kind. See you later. Bye.